Hey everyone, it's Liz here. How are you doing? I hope you're doing awesome. I'm doing awesome. I want to talk to you today about Vimala's alphabet and what I mean by that and what you can do with it to explode your own personal growth. Vimala Rogers, she's in her 80s now. She wrote a book called Handwriting Can Change Your Life. Her name is Vimala Rogers, as I said. All right. And right around Christmas time, sometimes YouTube does this. It brings up something in your feed that Spirit shows you can use. Well, there was about a 58-minute interview with this woman, Vimala Rogers, about handwriting and how handwriting can change your life. And I thought, oh my goodness, somehow I resonated that I knew I wanted this. And also I'm always looking for tools, tips, and tricks for my clients and for you guys. And I immediately knew that this resonated with me, so I ordered her book. I was staying with my mom in Alabama at the time, so I couldn't get to the book, but I did listen to the 58-minute video a couple times over. Uh, so I started doing my T's, I started doing everything. Let me just show you. These are my pages of handwriting of all these letters. Now, I'm going to get into all of it. I know I'm all kind of effusive right now, but I wanted to just I'm so excited. So let me just start over. Like, have you ever, that graphologists can actually look at your handwriting and can tell you a lot about you. For example, if you write your letters really close together, it does indicate that you love people, need to be around people, love being around people, big families, enmeshed families, and perhaps a tiny bit codependent, right? When you put your words far apart, it does indicate more that, you're more quiet, private, maybe you don't want to be around people all the time, you're doing your own thing, and maybe too isolating. And things like this is great. If you write in block print, a lot of men write in block print, and especially all caps block print, it definitely indicates that you are putting up an emotional block. Somehow your subconscious is saying, nope, not me, no, because there's a subconscious knowing that someone can look at your handwriting and get to know your deep emotional stuff and your sensitivities. So men often do block print in general, women do too, but anyway, things like that. You can look at someone's handwriting and know all about them. And throughout the years, last 10 years or so, I used to think, well, why can't we go the other way? But I didn't know how to do it. Like, so what do we change our handwriting to change our personalities and change our behavior? Well, here we go. Now, Vimala Rogers, there's not a lot of stuff out on YouTube about her, but she has some websites. So I'm just going to share screen quickly about that. And I'm going to show you quick. So this is her website, vimalarogers.com. She has another name that leads to this, but this is her. If you want to look at this on your screen, and she's got a lot of products here and so forth. Her book's $16. This is the alphabet. So I just wanted to show you this. You can stop the screen and just take a look at the alphabet. I knew immediately that I was supposed to do this. So even though I teach affirmations, and I call it the sauce, I teach stuff that takes about an hour and a half to do every day. I knew that I wanted to stop actually writing my affirmations and just begin to relearn this writing. So I've only been doing it for 5 weeks and I just have amazing things to tell you about it. So let me come back to screen. You can download this font, by the way. You can get this picture. You can just start, but there's certain ways of ordering. For example, when you do the O or any kind of the Q shape or O shape, you're supposed to write clockwise. I used to do my O's counterclockwise. So anyway, enough of that. We're going to get into all of it. So what happened? It was like December 27th. I was at my mom's house scrolling on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. I woke up early. My mom sleeps 2/3 of the day. So finding things to do. I watched the interview and I ordered the book immediately. And I began to immediately start to write my T's. So what she recommends, first of all, is that you get copy paper or some sort of unlined paper in landscape position. And you just begin to at least write 3 lines of whatever letter you're working on. And I'm telling you, when I first started writing these letters, they were so wonky. They're going all the way up and all the way down. She was saying that when you kind of tend to write upwards, you need the freedom. If you write on lined paper, it's really important to actually open up your freedom and creativity to not be constrained within the lines. If you have to, that's fine. But in terms of this writing practice, unlined paper. Okay. So if you write downward, tend to drift downward, it might be that sometimes you think a little negatively. If you write upward, it indicates a little bit more positive thinking. If you write straight across, it means you're pretty balanced, but no judgment. It's just the kind of thing that, I was doing. So again, some of these letters are straight across these days, but oh my gosh, early on in the day, they were all over the place. Like these G's. I couldn't get these G's in a straight line forever. G's were very challenging for me. So before the book arrived, I knew immediately that the letters that looked the most crazy and wonky to me were the ones that I needed to work on most. I knew that Like the S, for example, I couldn't even figure out the S for my life. Like that doesn't even look like an S to me. And the L, my name's Liz. I couldn't figure out the L. The G was really challenging. The P was so weird. The P refers to a lot about self-love and self-concept. So I recommend everybody do the P's. But the T's are about crossing your T's at the top. Again, I'm not going to give the lesson. I'm not licensed, I'm not certified, and I've only been doing it for 5 weeks, but 5 weeks is enough for me to begin to get on here and tell you about this little trick. If this little tip about changing your handwriting. If this resonates with you, please go get her book. Again, I make no money on this. It's just offering you some helps today. So what happened to me? I began writing the T's for about 4 or 5 days. And she even says in the interview and her book, be ready for things, life events, and people to change in your life. I went home, and January 2nd, I was home after New Year's. I had some girlfriends over for New Year's Eve. My life exploded open in wonderful ways. So I'm going to explain what I think happened there. But just by way of example, a benevolent organization I've been wanting to volunteer with for a year and a half finally gave me a position, and I'm in love with the job. It's my passion. And I have new friends there that I resonate with really strongly. All right. I have a new housemate now she's just lovely, brilliant, positive, sweet, and supportive. Great, great, great. I have a new business partner. I'm starting a business now with someone I've wanted to do for a couple of years. We're planning a retreat. We're rebuilding my website, and it's his website now too. My physique has changed. I'm taking better care of myself and choosing how to eat clean for me, avoiding processed foods and stuff. And so I have the physique and the physicality that I'm looking for, more self-confidence, more self-concept improvement, more self-esteem, because we can always grow in that area, right? I have a list here. uh, like I said, I have just much more joy and wholeness. My house is now set up beautifully. I've redone a couple more rooms in the house, so I get to live in what I consider an Airbnb level home. I just love walking around. I've stepped into other positions of leadership. I'm making better health choices, like I mentioned. It's just in 5 weeks, things I've been wanting have just kind of burst open with new opportunities. I have some great new clients this past month. They're amazing. So here's what I think happened. I think the sauce that I teach with, be it writing affirmations, looking at yourself in the mirror, recording yourself, rewriting your life script or self-image as I teach, writing your affirmations out, listening to them when you first wake up, listening to them when you first end up going to bed. That works the subconscious and kind of begins to retrain it in a particular way. But doing the handwriting and redoing my handwriting, like, as I said, I've stopped doing the affirmations for 5 weeks. I'm just doing my letters. It opens up a new part of the subconscious that perhaps I wasn't accessing before, or it's just done a very speedy work in me. And a lot of my clients immediately resonate and just go get the book and they start doing this work. It is quite incredible. So, like I said, you can just simply get the alphabet online. I do recommend the book because she talks to you how to do it in the correct order. She talks about ending your letters. Let me go back to her letter screen. Let me go back to her letter screen for a minute and show this to you again. Hope you can see it on your big screen maybe, but so as I mentioned, it's good to start doing your O's clockwise. So that's a change. Okay. She likes nice flowy loops. So if you have angular loops, it's good to change those. She likes the loops below the line. It's important to cross your T's at the top. Cross them at the top. The H, she likes it. She says it serves well when you end a loop, if you're doing letters, to end a loop moving forward, like you're moving forward in life. So like the A has that nice sexy loop. The B's have that curly thing, which is very weird for me. She says, for example, the C is actually mommy stuff. Like you have mommy stuff, chords to mom. Doing a nice, beautiful balanced C is beautiful. The G actually is daddy stuff and finances, your financial stuff. So I've been doing my G's, but this little top over here should not touch. And you want to do the G, the lowercase g this way. The L, she says, work on your name letters too. The L was very strange for me to change. And she says some letters should stand on their own and do not connect them, like the K, the V, the O can stand on its own, the X should stand on its own. And then when you do a letter from top to bottom, it's an I am statement. So write your T's, anything that goes up and down letter line is just from top to bottom, always top, the H, the I, the K, the T, The F, you need to be doing these from top to bottom. It's an I am statement. And she says, when you cross your T's lower than the top of the line, you're saying you're less than, and you don't want to take a leadership position, and you want to basically stay in the back of the room. So if you want to step out and step up with your, hey everyone, well, of course the internet kicked off, so I'm back now. Hopefully you can't tell. All right, so it's super important to do your letters from the top to the bottom, as I was saying. I'm going to get it back up and share screen again, which is where we were, but I'm just not going to redo this. I'm trying to put out a lovely video every day, but I have to get on to something else shortly. Anyway, so here's the letter. So it's really important to not cross your T's, as I was saying, at the lower place, because the lower part of the letter, because you're saying that you're less than. All right. And as I said, things like K's, V's, X's should stand by themselves. The X is a very powerful letter. So you can start any way you like. You can, in her book, I'll come back to screen. It's so lovely to work with you guys, by the way, today. In her book, she talks about all the letters and what they mean and what the personal effect will be when you do them. And she talks about ligatures, how to connect letters often. And she has a whole beginning of the book talking about what your handwriting means. If the letters are closely spaced, if they're short, if they're tiny, if they're angular, if they're small, if they're angled. I'll tell you a fun hint. She says, the loops that go below the line, for example, the P, the Q's, the P's, the F's, the Y's, if you do them short and angular, your sex life may not be that great. If you want to improve your sex life, make them big and flowy. And she even suggests pushing down a little more on the pen if you want a better sex life. So how's that? Isn't that fun? It's always good to have a good sex life. And she talks about the different types of handwriting, the implement you write with, the how angled they are, how slanty, how straight up they are. Again, how closely spaced they are, whether you write up or down. If you write more flowy, more angular, even if you have little, like she talks about teenage girls when they're 12-ish. Again, this is generalizing, but in teenage girls will start to change their handwriting around when they come of age, 12, 13, 14, something like that. And they might start little hearts over the eyes or little big dots over the eyes. And that should change back to a more mature thing, but that's what girls do. And often that's when the boys actually start writing in block print, because at some point, maybe someone told them big boys don't cry or something like that, and they needed to hide their emotion. There was some hurt or betrayal in childhood, and now they start block print. And she does recommend it's really super good if you can to begin to connect those letters. But she talks all about that in the book. So for me, I do my T's, my I's. I'm sorry, I do my T's, I do my H's every day. I do my P's, I do A, I do G's because and I've worked my E's and my L's, of course, because that's my name and so forth. But I'm really trying to learn to do the Z the different way and the Y the different way. So I've recrafted my own writing. I now write like a third grader learning script, but I'm getting there. It is just quite amazing. And like I said, I think it accesses part of your subconscious or in a more direct way, because as she mentioned, so I teach pendulum work, I teach muscle testing, which is an extension of your subconscious, right? Well, so is handwriting. Handwriting is an extension of your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is telling you about you when you write in script or when you write. And that is working with the frontal part of your brain. When you type on a computer, it's your reptilian brain, which is my guess why people can be so snarky on social media, because it's just responsive, so reptilian brain stuff. But you're using your frontal lobe when you do handwriting. She recommends a ballpoint pen or like a normal typical pen, not a felt tip pen or a Sharpie, and not even a pencil. But anyway, so it's super important to, if this resonates with you, to begin to recraft your writing, because then you're teaching your subconscious personality changes. And then pretty soon, as you write that way, your subconscious is telling you that it's coming along. Like if you want to be less avoidant about things, or you want to feel better, have more self-esteem or self-confidence, if you want to love yourself more, it's fascinating to begin to directly talk to your subconscious through handwriting. Your handwriting is a readout of your subconscious mind. That blew my mind. So anyway, I'll stop there. I'll put a link to her website, her book, her name, and the interview in the description box below. And I hope these two videos will coalesce well for you. But have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.